I decided to try my hand at making an entryway bench from scratch. This will be way different from the thrift store furniture makeovers that I have been doing in my previous videos. But I was very excited to do. I was going to try and remake a specific piece I found on West Elm. So I made my way to Home Depot to pick up a couple sheets of 3/4 inch plywood. I used a thicker sheet of plywood to give it some structural strength, since it will have to bear the weight of someone seated on top of the bench. I used my Festool track saw to cut the length down and make it more manageable to cut the rest down on my table saw. I cut out all the pieces all at one time, and then put the whole thing together like a puzzle. I saw someone use this tape method when assembling miter joints together, and I gotta say, it's such a simple trick, I'm surprised I didn't think of it earlier myself. I added some 18 gauge brad nails along with the wood glue when assembling the bench. The brad nails that I used were a little too long for this piece, which caused a few to come out the finished side. I was able to break them off by moving them back and forth. I decided to change up the design slightly from what I saw in West Elm by having a two-tone color. I did this by finishing the interior of the bench with a white stain and clear coat made by OSMO. I also added a couple of shelves to allow for more room for smaller shoes. Without the shelves, I noticed with my kids, it tends to all end up in a pile pretty quick. I pre-made the shelves and painted them prior to installing them. When painting wood, I always apply 2 coats of Kills primer and then a couple coats of the color. To add the border, I used the same plywood and cut 1-inch strips out of it. Since the plywood has a rough side, I ended up using a veneer to seal that side and make it paint ready. This was my first time using heat activated veneer band, and I gotta say, it was so easy to install and I was impressed with the finished result. There are some fancier plywood sheets where having an exposed ply is preferred. In fact, I picked some up at the wood shop the other day and have some plans to make some nightstands, possibly very soon. That is for a later video. Now, back to the current project. Here I am mixing up a 2-part wood filler made by Bondo to fill in all the nail holes along with any imperfections or gaps where the miter wasn't perfect. I then used a 220 grit sandpaper to smooth all the edges and wood filler. I also decided to fill the corners of the inside border with some paintable caulk so there wouldn't be any voids visible after it was painted. Since the interior is already finished, I masked off the 3 cabinets and into the paint booth we go. As you can see here, my wonderful wife is my partner in crime when it comes to helping me move some of my larger pieces of furniture in and out of the paint booth. Using some masking tape, I add a depth gauge to my drill to avoid drilling through to the other side. I purchased these legs on Amazon. These were the closest match I could find to the West Elm bench. When I had some better lighting, I noticed quite a bit of imperfect spots in the finish that I was not able to see when painting. Right when I thought I was almost finished, I had to go back to sanding the bench smooth and reapplying more finish. I wiped everything down with some mineral spirits and made sure to wear gloves so nothing on my hands would contaminate the piece before painting. After getting the piece repainted, it was time to install the hinges. I didn't think it would take me this long to find the perfect hinges for this piece. I went through 2 hinge types before finding the ones that would work. I guess the 3rd time's a charm. I used a jig made by Craig to cut out the holes for the hinges. This tool really comes in handy. And after hanging and adjusting the cabinet doors, here is the finished bench. How do you guys like it? Is the modern design and neutral color choices up your alley, or is this a fad you can't wait to see pass? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.